Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Digital Making at Home live stream. I'm Matt, and I'm in Ohio.
Hi, and I'm Christina, and I'm in Nebraska.
We're from the Raspberry Pi Foundation, and we're so happy to have you join us for this live stream where we'll code together and create some cool projects. Before we jump into the coding and while we introduce what this is all about, please let us know in the chat where you're from, all right? And while we're broadcasting live to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, so we'll be able to see all your comments. If you're watching from raspberrypi.org, you can click the title of this video to head over to YouTube to join the chat if you'd like. So Digital Making at Home is all about getting young people just like you coding and creating with technology. Every week we live stream digital projects for you to explore. These could be using technologies like Scratch, Python, or even hardware like the Raspberry Pi. And we've got kids coding all over the world. And for the next few weeks, we have a special live show, which are timed for those of you who are in North America. Though, of course, we welcome anyone from all over the globe, no matter what time it is. So this is thanks to our partners at Infosys USA, who have a mission to expand computer science and maker education to students and teachers all over the country. So for the parents and teachers out there, you can access free computing and maker education resources through their Pathfinders Online Institute. So big shout out and thank you to Infosys Foundation USA. So Christina, September's a special month, right?
Yes, so our theme is look after yourself. We know there's a lot of changes going on as we're navigating the global pandemic and now we're going back to school. So this month we're thinking about how can we take care of ourselves. So we are going to be doing projects for the next 4 weeks that are relaxing projects, meditation projects, stretching projects. And today we are going to be using a really great beginner-friendly program called Scratch to make a stress ball.
Cool. That's great. And if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. If you've joined us before, it's great to have you back. We've been live streaming in the UK time for a little while now. And while we're coding, you can code along with us. And we want to hear how it's going. So use the chat box, and I'll be keeping an eye on it while we do that. And speaking of chat box, I see that some of you have already said hello. So big shout out to Franciette in Houston, Dustin, Marty, Fred. Thank you for being here. It's really great to have you. So by all means, continue to say hello in the chat and let us know how things are going as you code along with us. Or, of course, just watch and enjoy as well. So, Christina, should we get going?
Jump right in.
Great.
Make sure you have my screen, shared it, and so it is ready for you. Awesome. All right, folks, so we are going to start on the Scratch website. So we are going to go to scratch.mit.edu. Mm-hmm. So if you want to follow along, you can set like us up maybe like on your phone and have your computers open, or you can split your screen, have us on one side of the screen, have this tab open on another window, or just watch and enjoy the show, and then you can code along later. We love to see what folks create at home, so feel free, you can always send it over to us. So we're going to start at scratch.mit.edu. This is a free program, and we are going to be starting here. We're going to click on Create. So go ahead and click on Create at the top. And this is going to take us to where we are going to be coding. I'm really excited to create a stress ball project. I know for me, I always like having stuff in my hands, like a stress ball. I have like my hairband. I actually have a lacrosse ball here. Not sure why, nice. But I do. What do you like to do to de-stress, Matt?
I'll either go for a run or take a nap.
Yes, definitely. We have some projects that talk a little bit about like that relaxation, creating a serene scene for those naps.
And can I give a shout out to Yolanda, yes. Joshua, Moreno, Lou, David, Martha from Texas, Mustafa. Hello, welcome. We got a lot of people in the chat. Welcome. It's so great to have you here.
Yes, thanks so much for joining. We appreciate getting to hang out with you. Especially those of you who are in our community and those of you that are new, welcome. We miss you all. We miss our in-person event. So for Matt and I, like this is really special to get to connect with you all right now. So thanks so much for joining us. And let us know if you're coding with us. As I'm coding, feel free to give me some suggestions for what I should add, or let us know what you're adding to your project. So I'm going to go through Scratch really quick for those of you that are new. So here is our coding page. That's right. We're going to code. And if you are brand new, you are my favorite. Like I love working with folks who are brand new to coding because you can do it. Like, this is going to be a lot of fun. So Scratch is block-based coding. So here on the left, we have our blocks, and we're going to be dragging these over and connecting them like Legos. This is going to be our coding space where we're going to put our blocks. And then here is what we call the stage. This is where our code comes to life. So when Scratch loads up, the first thing we see is they always give us, this is Scratch the cat, the mascot of Scratch. And just real quick, I'm going to show you, we're going to do just a little bit of coding right now. We're going to go ahead and code this cat to say hello to us.
Cool.
So to do that, we're going to start with a control block. And as you see here, our blocks are categorized by motion, look, sound, and also by color. So it's really like it's kid friendly, helps the kids navigate. So I'm going to go to the orange, the control blocks. And actually, I'm sorry, I'm going to go to the events blocks. And I'm going to pick the first one when green flag is clicked. And when you're coding, we need an indicator to tell our program to run. So in this case, we're going to use the green flag, which you see here, and we see her here at the top of our stage. Like I said, I'm going to have the cat say hello. So let's go to looks.
Can we have the cat say hello to someone in the chat?
Yes. Okay. All right. Pick someone.
How about Steven in Ohio?
Okay. Steven in
Nearby me.
Ohio. That's awesome. Okay. Is it Steven with a PH or a V?
V.
All right. I want to make sure I spell it correctly. Hello, Steven. Okay. Now I have to make sure to connect them. So I'm going to connect them and let's get this going. There we go. Yes. All right.
Nice.
We officially coded our first program. Also, Matt, just want to check in with you. How is the code? Are you able to see it, or should I zoom in a little bit?
Yeah, if you zoom in a little bit, that might help.
Okay. Let me see.
Oh, that's great.
Okay, great. Awesome. Okay, and hello, Steven. Great. So that is what we're going to be doing. We're going to have a little bit more code, though, so get excited. But that's where it starts. Just a simple hello. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and remove this code, and I can do that by just dragging it over here, dropping it off, and I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this sprite. So this is Scratch the cat. And what this little character is called is a sprite. And I'm going to click this. I was about to say rubbish bin because that's what our UK call it. This is the trash can or the rubbish bin. I'm going to click that, and now it's empty, and we're going to create our stress ball. So to start that, I now need a sprite. I need something to code. So to add a sprite, remember we started with the cat. We just got rid of the cat. So to add one, I'm going to go down here in the bottom right, and I'm going to click on this icon that says choose a sprite. I'm going to click here. Now we're going to get a library of sprites. And this is great. Scratch has such a great range of sprites, animals to letters to fashion. So I'm going to use a stress ball. So I'm going to use a ball, which you see here in the second row. But feel free to use whatever makes you comfortable. We can play around with it. Also, just to show you, you can search. So if you have an idea of something you want, I'm just going to go ahead and put ball so you see that that'll pull it up. We've got balloon, basketball, football. We've got also like sports players. So I'm going to start with the ball. And you see there's colors changing, and I'll explain why in a second.
Okay. Now, Christina, Lou in the chat is asking about a minimum age this is good for. Maybe a 6-year-old or?
Yeah, that's a great question, Lou. So Scratch is a really great program for beginners. I would recommend just as long as your young person is able to use a mouse. That's what's really great about Scratch because it's block-based coding. I'm not typing really much. I've typed hello, Steven, but a lot of the code we're going to use right now, it's really minimal typing. It's just moving the blocks with the mouse. So if you're a young person, I know there are kids younger than 6 who can use the mouse on their computer. And what's really neat is I see kids from 6, but we also see adults because you can really do some pretty advanced stuff with Scratch from we're going to be making a stress ball, but to making really neat, like multi-level games to creating stories. So yeah, I think if your young person is 6, I think it's a great age as long as they're comfortable using a mouse. And if not, hopefully this can help get them comfortable as they see how they're using the mouse to create something that's their own. All right, so we have our sprite. Right now it's just a ball. I'm going to make it a little bigger, and I can do that down here. There's a size area. I'm going to change that. Let's try it out. What's neat about Scratch is you can't break anything, and you can just play around with the numbers. So right now it's at 100. So let's try 150. That's still kind of small. I'm going to go bigger, go home. Let's go 300. No, you know what? We're gonna do 400.
We've got some people from Texas, so bigger is better, right?
All right, exactly right. So I went with size 400 for my Sprite, and then we just with the Scratch the Cat, we were looking at the code tab, which you see up here on the left side. We have 3 tabs. We have code, costumes, and sounds. So we were pulling over blocks. Before I actually do that with this Sprite, I actually want to play with the costumes. So costumes, like it sounds, it's like kind of dress up. So let's go ahead and click on that tab. If you're following along, that's what I'm clicking right now, or just you can just follow along on the screen. So you'll see here, when I was clicking in the library, we saw the ball started changing colors. And the reason is in Scratch, a lot of the sprites have some preloaded costumes.
Right.
In some cases, especially some of the like human sprites you saw have preloaded costumes that may make them look like they're moving or like they're dancing. Those are really great when you're telling stories or doing games. In this case, we have a different color ball. So pick one that you want. I'm going to go with blue. And for our stress ball, we're going to give it a face because why not? And if you think about it, it's pretty funny if you think about like squeezing, especially if you're really frustrated, squeezing a face. So I'm going to pick blue, and you'll see here we've got, it's very similar to like Paint, the Paint app. Like we can change colors, add different things. So I'm going to add a face. So I'm going to do that by choosing the menu over here. I'm going to keep it simple, but you know, if you're an artist, you've got like a pen that you can draw, by all means, go crazy.
Let your creativity run wild,
yes.
Right?
So I'm just going to click here on the circle. And you'll see I can pick colors. I'm going to choose I'm going to have this be kind of a yellow. I like blue and yellow. It's like a neon. Let's change it up a little bit. I like that. Okay, great.
While you're painting, can I talk about some questions from the chat? We can talk them over?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Cool.
Love to hear what folks are saying.
So Jean was asking about using this without internet. Jean on Facebook. Jean, I believe that you can download a version of Scratch onto a computer. You'll need internet access at that point to download it. But then after you've downloaded it, you can run it offline without an internet connection. And then Jorge was asking about his son's very into robotics on Facebook. He uses to program servos and such. Yeah, you can run Scratch on a Raspberry Pi and do, you know, all kinds of motors and fun stuff like that with it. So that's great. Thank you everyone for all the great comments. Stephen is saying that teens use Scratch in school too. That's awesome. Glad to hear that.
Yeah, oh, that's super neat. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Great questions, y'all. Keep them coming. I love the curiosity.
And you're painting away here. Nice. So you're expressing your creativity. Yeah.
Yes, I think my eyes are a different size, but that's okay. That's how I feel sometimes. And that's very much expensive when we're trying to de-stress. Right now, yeah, I've got 2 eyes and a mouth. And what I did was I just used the circle, changed up the colors. One thing I did try to do was I just highlighted, so you can click the select and you can click on here and you can copy and you can paste. So I was able to duplicate it. I tried to keep the eyes the same. I think I actually shifted a little bit, but it's okay. And if you're a parent or a teacher working with kids, definitely like what I love about Scratch is like this didn't exist 2 seconds ago, right? I just made this. This is what I felt the yellow, I felt the purple. Let kids really have fun and be creative with it. I mean, they can add hair. Why not? Let's add in some fun.
Some crazy hair.
Yeah.
And Samantha is saying that they use the offline version of Scratch at school and it runs really well with kids from age 7. Nice. Thank you, Samantha, for the heads up on that.
Oh, that's good to hear. Yeah.
You're getting crazy hair going on, I can see, right?
Bet. Story of my life. All right. I am using the keyboard to just like copy and paste, which is helpful too. But there's never like a right or a wrong
This is the
way.
sort of thing I can spend hours doing.
Right. Yeah. Just like signing my stress ball. And that is like, when we talk about looking after yourself, I think that's what is such an important thing to like find right now, is just a way to be creative. I know recently I talked with my dad and he's like, find projects, like find a project where you can just express yourself and really just, and have fun doing it. I think we need that joy right now. So my joy is coming from me making my stress ball with my purple hair. And like, I have to say, it looks pretty cool. I think I'm gonna go with the sideways mohawk look.
I'm into that. Yeah, it's a nice style.
I'm liking it. Yeah. And if you have suggestions, especially if you're a young person, you're watching this and you're like, Christina, you have to add this. Please put something. Yeah, let me know in the comments. I'll add it into this stress ball. It'll be our community creation. Okay. So I think we are ready to move to the coding portion of our program. How are we feeling? Okay.
Yeah.
So I was in costumes, but I'm going to move over back to code. So the paint section is going to disappear, but we've still got our Sprite here. Now we need to make our Sprite do something. So let's start again. We are going to let's actually think about a stress ball, right? Like, and I think that's the really cool thing with coding. Yeah. So we have a ball. And we want it to make a movement. We want it to kind of squish and like make its face turn, maybe like it's smaller. So as a coder, you're thinking about what those steps look like. So first thing, it's okay, when you have a stress ball, it's when you touch it, right? So let's start with another events block. Earlier we used the green flag, but this time I'm going to use when the Sprite is clicked. So I'm going to drag this one over, and that's going to be my indicator for my code to run. So we have a face. We've got our Sprite. We've got Sprite when clicked. Now we are going to have it get squished, basically. So I'm thinking in my head, okay, I want to change what it looks like. So, and I'm saying this out loud because especially if you're not familiar with Scratch, just think about what you're trying to do and then look at the categories of the blocks. A lot of times you can find, if you're changing how something looks, it's going to be in the looks. There's a lot of really great looks blocks to try. So I'm going to find this one. And interestingly, I taught this to Matt because he didn't know that there were so many options. This block here, it says changed color. But if you ever see a block like this, make sure to click that down arrow. And there's so many options.
Who knew?
So I'm going to click whirl and we're going to test it out. So now, fingers crossed, when I click this Sprite, it should have a whirl effect. Right now, which is 25. So let's see what that looks like. Okay, very, very subtle.
The subtle kind of like.
The subtle like, this is the hairstyle you gave me. Let's see, let's make it a little bit more. Let's do 100 and see what that looks like. Ooh, okay. Yeah. I'm liking that. Maybe even more. And what you're seeing is what I'm also seeing. Oh, okay. That's nice. I like that. Yeah, 150 is good.
Yeah.
Now we're kind of stuck there. We want so let's keep going. Let's add it to when I click it. I'm going to have the size change. So let's have the size. I'm going to pull in this block here. It's like the idea of it kind of getting smaller. So let's have it. We'll go here and see. Size changed by 10. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, so it's getting bigger. And we notice I'm going to continue clicking and we're creating an art masterpiece. But now, okay, I'm thinking, well, I want it to go back, right? I actually want my code to return to normal. So let's look at some of the blocks we have here. Okay, this is the one I need. Clear graphic effects.
Okay.
So I'm going to put this one in here, and then let's look and see what happens. Okay.
Nice.
I'm noticing that when I click it, I'm not seeing much happening. So we've got a bug we need to figure out. So let's see. Do you have an idea, Matt?
Yeah, I think what's happening is that it's running the code really fast and it's applying the whirl effect, but then just taking it away right away, you know?
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So then this is where
Steven's saying it's a trippy effect. I agree.
All right. So I think what we need to add another block in here before it clears the graphics. So let's go to control. There's a great block called wait 1 second. And like Matt said, the computer is so fast, it's running that code. So it's changing its size, it's doing the whirl, and it's clearing the graphic effects, but too fast for us to even see. So let's try this block. And this should give us what we're looking for. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, nice. So it's doing that. Now we've got change by size 10. I'm going to try -10 because I actually want it to get smaller.
Right.
Let's see. Okay. Maybe actually want to try even smaller. And this is this is what coding is.
Right.
This is what they do. Just play around.
Just try stuff out.
Yeah,
Right.
you try stuff out. Okay.
Nice. Oh,
Nice. Okay.
yeah, there you go.
Now we're noticing though, so it's oh no.
Uh-oh.
It's continuing to get small. So we need another block that's going to fix our size because we want it to get small, but then return to normal. So let's go to looks again. And I'm sure we can find something. Oh, okay, here we go. Yes, so set size to 100%. But remember, I wasn't at 100. Does anyone remember what number I was at? I got excited. The Texans also were excited. Remember, I went 400 was my starting number. Oh, that's what we want it to return to.
Okay, yep.
Okay, so let's see. All right, so we've got our stress ball. Nice. Yeah, I mean, let's just, not double negative. That makes a positive. Okay,
there we go.
This is looking really good.
That really does have that stress ball effect. That's for sure.
It's actually, I'm just like, oh. Like, okay, yes. Now, something you can also add, which I love about Scratch, also reason to make sure kids have headphones if they're using Scratch. Sometimes I always have to make sure to let teachers know, is you can add sounds. So we can go to the third category, sound, and we can actually play a sound. And I'm going to pull over here. We're going to see that right now it automatically has boing and pop. You can record a sound. I've had a lot of fun with that. There's also like a whole sound library, and I'll open up that tab just for curiosity's sake. Similar to how the menus work over here, we can go here and go to choose a sound. And there's a lot, which is really fun. Like kids can just like spend a lot of time exploring the sounds, which is a really fun time because I've seen kids make like a rock band in Scratch. I've seen them have like a lot of really like just musical creativity with this. So let's go back. We're gonna go back to code. And I'm thinking here, remember the order of this is really important. So I want to be thoughtful about where I put my sound block. Because if I just put it down here at the bottom, that means it's just going to happen at the end. So I'm going to have to break up some of my blocks. I think I'm going to add it in here as part of like kind of this trio of what I want my stress ball to do. Let's see. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, sweet.
Kind of like a kind of
like
thing.
the pop sound. Yeah. Nice. That's actually a big win, folks, because Matt and I were testing this earlier and we weren't sure if the sound was going to work. So yes, for an internet win today. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Nice. Okay. This is great. Okay. Well, so actually what I want to show you all is I didn't make this project up. I know it seems like I probably did because it's a really awesome project, but these projects are actually from our project library. And once you've done projects like this, we also have like challenges and suggestions. So do not worry if you're still on designing your stress ball, if you are like still on like having fun with the whirl or the like fish eye, totally fine. We have instructions for how to do this project. So I'm going to open up, I have this in a second tab here, and Matt's going to put up a link. Thank you, Matt. So this link here, rpf.io /dm-stress-ball will take you to this project. You also see if you go to projects, there's a library of over 200 projects to explore.
Tons of projects.
Yeah. And not just like their Scratch projects. So if now you're like, wow, like Christine, you've changed my life. Scratch is the coolest thing. Great. We have a lot of Scratch projects. If you're ready to try a written language like Python or HTML, we also have projects from beginner to advanced for you to explore. So with our stress ball project, all of our projects are organized in this way. We've got our title, we've got the programming language. There also is a print option. So you can print projects. I've seen folks print and make like little booklets for kids to use so that they have them like next to them on their like desk area while they're coding.
Perfect, yeah.
And so we've got, what I did was I just followed these steps. So it's kind of, we have a table of contents here. So the introduction is great. It's great for parents and teachers too, because if you scroll down to the bottom, it gives you some additional information and tells you what you're going to learn. So in this case, we learned about sprites, we learned about sound, and then adding a ball sprite, we added a face, we squashed it, we shrank it, We added a sound. I don't know if it was a better sound effect, but we added a sound effect. And what's neat is like we have challenges here. So you can check out challenges from adding more. And what's great is we also have videos that show you where to go into Scratch. We're going to have to add a backdrop. I'll show you how to do that in a second.
Yeah.
There's also other suggestions for how to improve your project. So really great directions for how to get started. So let's head on back to Scratch.
And while you're doing that, I'll just take a few questions. Lou is saying that this is awesome and he's glad he tuned in. That's great, Lou.
Thanks so much, Lou.
Also asked if we'll be able to play the video again later. Absolutely. It'll all be available at rpf.io/home, where that's the homepage for all things Raspberry Pi's digital making at home program. And Samantha has a good tip here. She's saying they have 2 windows and teach kids to use Alt-Tab and Windows to switch between the online instructions and the Scratch app, which is a great tip.
Yeah, shout out to Samantha. Thank you, Samantha.
Yeah,
appreciate that.
Yeah, and generally, just like that's part of it is learning how to manage the windows and switch between things. It takes a little time to learn that, I think,
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's what I love about this community is that we have just so many folks trying different things in their unique spaces for how to code with their students. Some folks right now are in person, some are remote. Some are synchronous, asynchronous, all the terminology right now, right? So we always love to hear how you all are bringing coding experiences to kids. So thank you, Samantha, for sharing one of your top tips. All right. Oh, what is it? Ooh, backdrop. So
backdrop, yep.
We've got our Sprite. Now, while it looks awesome, what's really neat about Scratch too is they also have a library of backdrops. They give us a lot of stuff, which is great, and it's so much fun to play around with. So here in the far right next to where I had the Sprite option, there is a backdrop option. So I'm going to click on a backdrop. And again, a whole library of different types we could have our stress ball at a baseball field, at a castle.
Why not? Why not, right?
Let's scroll through. Jurassic feels kind of, a jungle. Now, so many choices. You can get lost in this, right? I think I'm going to go with Nebula. That looks cool. Actually very relaxing to me. Ooh. They match.
I dig it.
Yes. Okay, this is great. So yeah, oh my gosh, I'm real chill right now. Just the nebula itself and the color scheme. This is my color palette, to be honest. Like the blue and the purple. I'm just gonna keep clicking this. This is great. Oh, that's so fun. Oh yeah. Oh, that's actually really neat. Well, you can double click it and it'll keep going.
Oh yeah. It'll pop back. And then it pops back. That's great. So it's like you're super stressed. You can really go at it.
Make it disappear. Exactly. All right. Well, that is our stress ball project for today.
That is awesome. Thank you so much, Christina. I really like how much options there are to extend it and everything, and just all the opportunities for creativity. I love that.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited that we're starting with the stress ball, but we're going to build on these skills over the next couple of weeks just to help you get more familiar with all the different possibilities in Scratch. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it was so great to see so many of you getting involved in the chat. Shout out to Samantha, to Rob, Steven, Lou, all of you. Thank you so much. It was great to have your contributions in the chat. And Steven saying he feels less stressed already. So we've done some good work today, I think.
We're trying, Steven. We're trying, buddy.
Yep. So that's all the time we have for this week. But don't worry, we have another live stream next week, same time, same place. Again, I want to thank Infosys Foundation USA for making these special shows happen each week through October 8th. So for the parents and teachers who are joining us, you can explore Infosys Foundation USA's free computing and maker education resources through Pathfinders Online Institute. There's a URL right there, and you can catch our past streams there as well. So thank you all so much for being here for Raspberry Pi Foundation's Digital Making at Home live stream, and I hope we'll see you next week. Bye.
Definitely.